Hello and welcome to this lecture. Today we are going to discuss dysplasia. It is defined as a disorder cellular development often preceded or accompanied with metaplasia and hyperplasia. And we discussed a little bit before in the previous lecture that metaplasia, if the stimulus persists, the metaplasia can change to dysplasia. So what are the key characteristics in dysplasia? Number one, there is an increased number of layer of epithelial cells, and then the cells they stack together one by one, as we see in the last lecture as well. When we talk about pseudo-stratified columnar ciliated epithelial cells, they change to squamous epithelial cells. So if they stack together more and more, increase cells layer of the epithelial cells, then this is dysplasia. Then the second thing is disorder arrangement of cells from basal layer to the surface cell layer. It means that the cell arrangement is out of order and their arrangement is not uniform. Then the loss of basal polarity, and when we talk about basal polarity, it means that the structural integrity has been lost. When we talk about the loss of the basal polarity and we will talk about nucleus lying away, we can take example of dysplastic Barrett esophagus. And we already discussed in the last part that if the normal esophagus cells, squamous cells change to columnar cells, they are known as metaplasia. So from this part we know this. And then when we talk about dysplasia, you can see this thing that when dysplasia occur, the cells grow in layers. Number one point that we discussed previously. Then the cells grow further and further, and they're going away from the basement membrane. So this is a basement membrane. These are the cells, and the cells is growing in numbers. Their shapes vary, and then they stack together more further and further. And the cells, the nucleus is going away. The cell's nucleus is going away from the basement membrane. So that is actually showing you the loss of polarity, especially in Barrett esophagus. Then the next point is cellular and nuclear pleomorphism. What is meant by pleomorphism? Pleomorphism is explained that and the change in structure and size of the cells. So in pleomorphism, if the structures are arranged in a sequence with definite shape, in pleomorphism there will be some cells that are small in size, or their structures in the regular structures you will find some cells that contain some small cells and then that contain normal cells. So there are some cells that are small in shape and size, and some cells are normal shape and structure. So you can express this as in pleomorphism. This is another example of cellular or nuclear pleomorphism, and you can see that these are the cells that are showing you in normal size. And you can see in normal size green structure, they're just going to express that they all are arranged in same structure, same cells. There is no variability. But what happened in dysplasia, you can see that the normal cells as well, like the blue one, and then these red shape structures, these structures that are expressed in red, they are the cells, but their cell structure becomes small as compared to the other cells. So this can be expressed in terms of their size, shape of the cell or the nucleus, and that occur in dysplasia. Then we have increased nucleocytoplasmic ratio. And what is nucleocytoplasmic ratio? It means that this is a cell, and we know the cell contains nucleus and cytoplasm. So what happened in dysplasia, they will be increase in size of the nucleus. Like now, because of the dysplasia occur, the nucleus size become large and large. Then again, with the passage of time, what happened? The nucleus will further enlarge. So there will be the increase of the nucleocytoplasmic ratio with the passage of time. Then in nuclear hyperchromatism also occur. So what is nuclear hyperchromatin? You have to understand that the chromosomes consist of chromatin fibers. And what happen in dysplasia, these chromatin fibers will be increased in the cells. It's like this is a nucleus, and we can say that these are all chromatin fibers of the chromosomes. What happened that these chromatin fibers will be increased, and that will be quite profound or quite visible in dysplasia. And the last one is the increased mitotic activity. So if we take a look of this structure, this is example of uterine cervical dysplasia, and these structures, these all there, although this picture has not been zoomed, but they're showing you the presence of mitosis, the presence of these are layers of the disordered layers of the squamous epithelium cells, and they also explain the chondrocytosis will be formed. We will explain these further in reproductive system when we study the detail. So you just need to understand that in dysplasia, number one, the increased number of layer of epithelial cells. Number two, the disorder arrangement of cells from basal layers. Number three, the loss of the basal polarity. And in basal polarity loss, the nucleus, the cell which grow more and more, they're going away from the basement membrane. Then the cellular and nuclear pleomorphism, where they will be the shape of the cells will be abnormal. There will be some small shape structure, and then there is the increase of the nucleocytoplasmic ratio. Sometime that will found that there will be enlarged nucleus. Then you can understand the nuclear hyperchromatism, where there will be increase of the chromatin material, which is the material of the chromosomes. Then there is an increase of the mitotic activity. So thank you so much for today's lecture. Hope to see you again.